Hello everybody, Rox here. Thank you for tuning into the channel. Today we have a 1-year review of the TK45, the KWC Cherry Red Special Edition. So, a bit of a preface about this airsoft gun. This is KWA's entry into the pistol caliber carbine style of guns that have become really popular over the past few years. G&G with their ARP9 is kind of known as the big one, and all the other companies follow suit. What makes KWA's so unique is there's two versions. There's the short one, the TK45C, and there's the longer one, just the 45. And this one comes with a nice recoil system. So when you're shooting it, it has quite a bit of a nice kick to it. The smaller one doesn't, but it has a quick change FPS adjustment in the back, so you put a screwdriver, can turn it, and you can make it faster or shorter whether you're going outside. The other main difference between the main production TK45s and this one is this one has the cherry red finish on the Cerakote finish, sorry, on the outside of the end. It's got some markings here, and inside it has a gate tighten pre-installed, so that's going to make quite a bit of a difference in terms of performance, though I have seen the regular ones in action and they're very nice. Another thing to note, as this is a pistol caliber carbine, is that the top looks like your AR platform, the bottom is not. It almost looks more like a vector, and that's where a lot of people are going to be doing comparisons. You can tell just by looking at the magazines, which are proprietary. This is a vector mag, and this is a TK mag. They're very similar. One thing I do like about the TK mags is that the main part that goes into the gun is a little thinner. So it fits into more pouches. This requires like an SMG size pouch or a short pistol pouch, whereas this can be fit into longer pistol pouches and be a little more comfy. So that's your size comparison. I mean, compared to a Bison mag, they're both basically tiny. The other thing too is that it does feel a lot like a AR. So if you're used to, it feels less like a vector and more like an AR. So if you're looking at this thing, you're like, wow, it looks like it's going to feel like a vector. No, it definitely feels like an AR, which is nice because you have some familiarity between gun platforms there. Straight out of the box, you're going to notice that this thing is snappy. And when I say snappy, I mean really snappy. And that has to do with the Titan. Now, the Titan is an optical MOSFET that is mostly installed aftermarket in other guns, but as I said before, KWA decided to put them pre-installed inside their special edition guns, and it makes this thing super cool. And it shoots great. I'm the second owner. I didn't buy this thing new. And the first owner gamed it a few times, and I've probably gamed it 5 or 6 times. Which is pretty good considering the size of my collection. And the thing is I'm always going back to it because I'm trying my other guns, like, these are cool, but it just shoots so well, and you're hitting targets from like 200 feet plus easily for a gun that, for all accounts, is stock, came from the factory like this. And I'm like, it's hard to go to something that doesn't perform as well when you're used to something that does. So it's held up really well for that. I mean, there's a few spots of rust, but there's, that's my own doing. So we're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of this thing and my opinions again after having had it for a year. So we'll start with the cons. The biggest thing to note is that it's got some proprietary internals, and in turn that makes it harder to upgrade. When I say proprietary internals, I mean it's got its own gearbox, so you're not going to be able to go and buy gearbox and drop it in if you need to replace it that way. And there's more moving parts in the recoil system, so more moving parts means you have a higher chance of failure, just as a general rule. So far I haven't had any failures, but I would, I'd be expected that it's going to take a little more work to go into it and start adjusting things should that happen. The flash hider, the first time you use it, is a little hard to remove. Now, it's not too bad now, see, I can just pop it off, but the first time you want to get at it, it does have, there's an extension. You can see it right here. No, that's the extension. There's an extension, and to a little grub screw. If you want to get at it, you kind of have to go in at a certain angle. A little difficult, not the end of the world. And the proprietary mags. Now, being a pistol caliber carbine, it's not going to take any specific mags, but some of the other ones out there do take the same mags as everyone else. Like the ARP can use the classic army mags, and I think they can also use the ICS. Don't quote me on that one, I don't own one. But it's its own gun. You have to buy your own mags for it, and they're kind of expensive. You're looking at I think 40 USD for 3, so which isn't as bad as, say, like PTS mags or something, but that's the thing. And in terms of cons, that's basically it. KW has really good customer support, so if something does go wrong and you want OEM parts for it, you can get them. Like you go on for Evike, for example, and all of these components, all the external components are there if you break something, and any competent tech should be able to work on the internals. And pros, it's unique. It's going to be the first one. I think it looks super cool. There's not really any other gun like it. It looks like the Vector and an AR-15 had a child, and I think that's really cool. The recoil system is great. It's very comparable to the TM recoil system and the NGRS one, but less complicated, and it feels a little stronger. I have experience with both guns. I definitely say I prefer this one, but that's not saying the TM one is bad. The TM one is also very good. A lot of internal version 2 components do work with this thing. When we're talking about gears, and I think the cylinder and like your piston and stuff, those all work still. So if you do have to change those, you don't have to. And same with the hop-up. The hop-up is compatible with other version 2 hop-ups and barrels. It takes AEG standard barrels. Most stocks are going to fit this. I think it just has a standard AR buffer tube. All of the recoil components will stay inside this buffer tube, but you can fit any stock you want. The front does have 14mm threads, negative threads, so if you want to put on any flash hiders or whatever, if you can fit it underneath the handguard, it works. I have a little Noveski style flash hider with tracer in it that I have to use for night operations. It does come stock with a lot of PTS components, so yeah, the stock is PTS. It has your M-Bus sights, which are high quality repros of real steel. The hand grip is a PTS hand grip as well. And I mean, last but not least, it shoots really good. And I haven't ever had anything to complain about with how this gun shoots. It's held zero. I use a real steel optic on mine, and it hits exactly where I want it to. A ton, like 200 feet plus, without question. I've had lots of awesome games with this thing, and I recommend that if you want a fun, unique pistol caliber carbine, that the TK45 would be one that you consider. Those are my thoughts on the TK45 1 year later. I hope you found this informative. Hope you like some of the footage that you saw. And if you're considering getting a pistol caliber carbine for yourself, that maybe this is the one that you do, because I know you will like it. And even if you don't get the one, I know the limited edition ones have been sold out for quite a while, and even if you don't get one of these, the stock one will do you very well. KWA does offer Titan drop-in packages, so if you have tech or you know someone who can, you can easily install one yourself. You're gonna like it. With that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider liking and subscribing. It will be very appreciative of me. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Pinned? Got one pinned? Two behind jail. One left side. Got one left, one more left. I'm out. Walking.